Hey, hello. Let's play a game, yeah? Let's play a game of what's the worst that could happen. Yesterday, inside my Breakup with Binging Facebook group, I asked a question, a very thought-provoking question of if you didn't give into your urge to eat, right? Like let's say you're full, let's say maybe you're even stuffed, and you have this desire for food. You have a sweet tooth, you have a craving. My question was, if you didn't give into that urge to eat, what's the worst thing that would happen? What do you think? And really think on that for a moment. Like, what is your brain telling you is the worst thing that could possibly happen by you not eating the food, by you saying no to yourself, saying no to that craving? And instead of taking the action and reacting to your urge with food, your action that you take, the reaction, is to not eat the food. What would happen in that instance? Ariel is here. Hi, lovely lady. I want to hear your feedback. Think about it. If you didn't give into your urge to eat, what's the worst thing that would happen? We really have to sit and think about it, because here's what we do. In a moment, in a given moment, wherever you are in the day, whether you're at work or you're in your car or you're at home, you have this thought of food. You want to eat something. Something sounds good. You're hungry. You're craving for something. Maybe you think of cookies or peanut butter or ice cream or something. And instantly this desire starts to create, and there's this urge, there's this urgency to answer that desire and to go and eat the food. And so we get up, we're in the pantry, or we turn to in our car, in our purse, open a snack, and we just start eating. And for a lot of us, sometimes that then causes us to spiral and eat all of the foods. One snack turns into 3 snacks, turns into 5, and then we're kind of to heck with the diet and we're kind of eating whatever it is that we want. And we realize that that's a problem, because when we're eating in that way, when we are binge eating, physically, we're gaining weight, we're feeling unhealthy, we're feeling bloated, we're just physically feeling terrible. And then mentally and emotionally, it's exhausting. We're stressed, we're anxious, we're feeling defeated, we're frustrated because we're binging and we're kind of living in this vicious cycle. And so we want to do something about it, of course, right? But sometimes we feel so powerless to these cravings and these urges, and we feel so powerless to food all of the time that we feel that we can't stop, that we have to answer this craving. If you get anything out of this live today, I hope that it's this. You don't have to answer the craving. We think that sometimes we have to solve the thoughts, we have to solve the urge and the desire by eating, but you don't. There's an alternative, and the alternative is to not eat the food, is to not eat. And that's my question. Marsha's here, Gina's here. Hi, ladies. That's my question to you, and I want to get your feedback. If you didn't give into the urge to eat, what's the worst thing that would happen? Really, it seems like we're going to die, right? We're going to feel terrible. We're going to feel anxious and uneasy, and it's just going to be awful. And like, oh my God, your brain is like, go and eat, you must eat. But what if you didn't eat? And we really need to play this out. We really need to sit here and kind of, and think on this. Karis is here. Hi, lovely lady. Okay, so let's play a game. I want you to think about the last time you had a craving to eat something that maybe led to a binge or led to you overindulging. And I want you to, let's visualize. Let's go back to that day, that moment. For a lot of us, that might be an hour ago, it might be yesterday, right? When was it for you? And let's kind of take a moment here to, and if you want to close your eyes and kind of visualize and see yourself. Where were you? What room were you in? What was your environment? What were you wearing? How did you look? Where were you? Were you sitting? Were you standing? What was going on? Were you watching TV? Were you on the couch? Were you at your desk? Were you in bed? Like, let's really visualize where you were. And then what happened? What happened that your next action was to either get up and get food or turn to food or open food? What happened in your mind? What came up for you? What thoughts did you have? Now you're gonna wanna maybe say, well, I don't know. If you say, I don't know, you literally like cut your brain's ability off to try and remember. So I don't know yet, okay? And kind of just sit in that for a moment and think, what did come up for me? What was I thinking about? Was I stressed about something? Was I upset? And then was the secondary thought like, to heck with it, or I want something, or I need something, or I just want something sweet? Like, what was it for me in my mind? What were the thoughts that created this desire for food, these cravings? And then I had this urgency that forced me to now get up and go and, take the action to go and eat. Like, let's really map this out. And then you went and you ate, right? So now can you see yourself? Like, what were you preparing? What were you grabbing? Was it a bowl of stuff? Was it a bag of stuff? What door did you open? Like, really see yourself moving through your house, eating the food. And then did you sit down? Were you eating the food at the table while you were standing in the kitchen? Like, I want you to observe yourself. This is a game that we're playing, a visualization, not to relive anything that is painful, but for you to visualize and see yourself in an environment so that we can use this information to kind of figure out an alternative. So then you sat back down possibly and you were eating the food, and then you had thoughts, more thoughts. I know for myself, when I used to struggle with binge eating, it was thoughts like, well, now I've ruined it, right? Like, now what's the point? I may as well eat something else. Like, I've already started this, let me finish it. And then I would get up and I would go and get something else. And that's kind of how my day or my evening would go. Okay. So I want you to kind of piece that together and kind of see yourself like you're looking at yourself from like a bird's eye view on the day prior, or when it was that you had your last binge, and all of the things that were going on for you that led you to take the actions that you took. Okay, here's what I want us to do alternatively. You had thoughts that created desire to go and eat food, and you can see how you answered those thoughts. You answered the desire with food. Let's look at the exact same scenario, where you were, what you were wearing, all of the thoughts that you had, and let's pretend for a moment that you chose not to eat any of the food. So you had all of those cravings, you had the stressful day, you had the sadness, whatever was going on for you, and then you started to think about food. And where in option one you did, the reality was that you got up and you ate the food. And now you can kind of see how your night or your afternoon, whatever it was, how that mapped out for you. I want you to visualize the exact same scenario happening, but you saying no to yourself in that moment. So now all the same events sequentially will happen, but instead there's just no food present. There's no chewing, there's no eating, there's no back-to-back foods, none of that. So there you are, wearing the clothes that you are, in your four walls, in your house, on the couch, in the bed, wherever you were. You're having all of the thoughts about food. I want to eat, I need to eat. There's that graspy, needy energy, I got to. But instead you said no, so you remain on the couch. Maybe you go to the kitchen, but you don't get food. You go and you sit back down. And see how you move through the night doing all of the things that you did. Right? You put the toys away, you cleaned up the house, you brushed your teeth, but there was just no food. So you had the desire to eat, all of the thoughts, but now we're visualizing an alternative where you said no to yourself and everything still continued on your day. You're still safe, you're still in your homes, things still kind of continued, but instead you didn't eat the food. Now, what was probably, if we could kind of predict, going on for you then instead? Like, what is the worst thing that happened? And there's a few of you gals that are on and you're being quiet. I want to hear from you. What is the worst thing that happened when you said no to yourself? And you had to move through your house doing all of the things that you normally would have done on a Wednesday or whatever the day was, but you didn't have the food. When you don't answer desire with food, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? You know the answer, right? Nothing. Nothing. You're still going to be in your house. You're You're still going to be walking around. You're still going to be in your clothes. You're going to be safe. You have a roof over your head. The only thing that you're going to pout. Yeah. You're going to feel unfulfilled. You're going to feel bummed. Right? You may feel a little pissy. Like you wouldn't be with food. You'd be without the food. Your mouth would be closed. Right? You'd maybe be unfulfilled or unsatisfied. You'd feel uncomfortable. Yeah. I'd feel uncomfortable. But now let me ask you this. What's so bad about being uncomfortable? What's so bad about pouting? Like really think about it. It just feels bad, Leah. Okay, well tell me more about that. It feels bad how? It feels bad in your body, right? Like mentally and emotionally it feels bad, but it doesn't feel bad physically. Like we can agree upon that, right? Like it's not like physically you're being punched in the face. It's not like physically you're being harmed and hurt, right? It's like, no, you're physically okay. You're physically safe. Like look at you, do the visualization technique. Look at where you were in your house. All of the same things were going on. All of the actions that you were taking, you just were without food. You just weren't eating. And all of that discomfort is coming from your brain. Like notice how you move around your house and you're the same Karis, same Marsha, same Ariel. You're just without the food and you're just uncomfortable and you're just antsy and you're unfulfilled. Maybe you're a little angry. But so what? Really, like what's so bad about feeling uncomfortable? Is this not just like when we actually think about it, how do you answer? There is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it. And here's the crazy thing. And Marsha, Ariel, hear me out when I say this. When you binge eat, when you overeat, think about the physical and mental discomfort that you experience. Think about how uncomfortable you feel when you go and eat all of the foods. So here's what's so crazy ironic. Is that either way you're going to feel uncomfortable. But if you answer your desire to eat by saying no, that's an empowering and intentional discomfort. That's you declaring, I'm going to feel uncomfortable, but because I'm choosing and I'm declaring to feel this uncomfortable. Like this is a level of emotional adulthood, a level of maturity that I'm going to take on for myself that, yeah, I'm going to pout. And yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable. But my God, I would rather me be in control of my discomfort and feel this knowing it's a vibration, it's a feeling that is going to pass. It's going to pass. All feelings are temporary. And so by me deciding that I'm going to answer my desire to eat by not eating and saying no to myself, which I don't think a lot of us realize was even an option before. I feel like a lot of us think that because we have these cravings and these urges, the way to get rid of it is to eat. No, the way to get rid of it is to notice that you're just having a thought that you don't have to believe, that you don't have to act on. You don't have to react to your toddler brain that's saying, go eat the food, you need it, you have a sugar craving, you deserve it. What's one little bite? You can have some, like whatever that nagging little, you don't have to respond to that. And notice that when you do respond to it, it sends you into the spiral. We're binge eating, we're eating all of the foods, and then the byproduct of that is that we are physically feeling uncomfortable, we're mentally feeling uncomfortable, and emotionally the same. And so what's ironic is that we're sitting here kind of brainstorming, okay, the alternative was for me to say no to myself and not eat, and in that I would have felt uncomfortable. And we're saying we can't handle that, but we can because we already do. We already do feel uncomfortable. Is that not crazy? This is crazy. So we have to really oh my God, okay, I'm going to have cravings. I'm going to have desire to eat food. Why? Because I'm a human being. I'm a human being. That's what your brain is designed to do. Your primitive brain, your amygdala, is designed to seek comfort. Designed to seek comfort, and food is very comforting. Food is delicious. Food lights up the brain's reward center. We want food. It's this thing that we use to numb ourselves. It's a band-aid to our stresses and our anxiety and all of the things. So of course we're all wanting to eat. There's nothing wrong with you for having foods to eat, for having thoughts to eat the food. Nothing wrong with you. The problem is that we think that that's a problem, but it's not. You're gonna have thoughts today. Karis, you're going to have thoughts today, my friend, that, oh my God, I want something sweet. Expect it. Anticipate it. And you've now already done a very powerful game in visualizing your previous self and how you acted in answering to a desire and a craving and that urge to eat, and what that looked like and the ramification of it, the consequences, which you don't want anymore. And now we played the game of all of the same things happening, but the difference is being you saying no to yourself from love. No is a very beautiful 2-letter word that we can say out of discipline to ourselves for our goals, for the betterment of ourselves, and how the whole day would have mapped out the same and you would have been safe. Physically, you would have been fine, but mentally, you just would have been feeling worst case scenario, gals, discomfort. Like, I mean, if this is resonating with you right now, I want to see some hearts, I want to see some likes, I want to see something. I think this is amazing. I'm going to feel discomfort anyway. I would rather choose it now on purpose. And here's why. And I'm not going to throw out this statistic to scare anybody, but I asked the question of, if you don't give into your urge to overeat, what's the worst thing that can happen? The answer is nothing. Nothing. The worst thing that's going to happen is we're going to feel a feeling. You want to know the opposite? The opposite is when we keep giving into our urges to eat, we gain so much weight. We become so incredibly unhealthy. Do you know that the number one cause of death in the United States, the number one cause of death, cardiovascular disease? And the what's the word that I'm looking for? It's caused by diet. It's caused by overeating. And 90% avoidable if we could figure this piece out, which is what I'm trying to share with you. We have to feel our discomfort. We have to be willing to feel it on purpose intentionally in order for us to regain control of ourselves, around food, of our health, and live our lives intentionally and on purpose. Miss Kara says, yes, it's so much harder to say no to the binge when you don't have a goal set for yourself. Yeah, you want to have a compelling reason. Of course, there has to be a reason why you want to do this. Otherwise, it's like, maybe you want to binge, maybe you want to eat, right? Maybe it's like you're just complacent with how you are. But for the majority of us, especially you gals that are here, who are seeking my help, it's because you realize that this is deeply affecting your quality of life, and not just your life, but your loved ones. And how you're being and who you're being and the version of you that's showing up in the world isn't someone that you want to be. You know you're living in this untapped potential. And so you want to figure this out. And so what are your goals? Why is it important for you to stop binge eating? How would that change your life and those who are closest to you? So having a compelling reason. And knowing that reason is going to change, right? Like your reason cares today, it might be different a month from now, 60 days from now, right? So like always having goals and then making them top of mind every single day. So you go into the day with intention. The worst thing that can happen is nothing. We feel a feeling. Whoa. Yes. Like, isn't that nuts? We feel a feeling. And you know what a feeling is? You know what a feeling is? A feeling is created from your brain. A lot of people don't know that. I didn't know that till I was 27 years old, that my thoughts create my feelings. I thought food created my feelings. Food does not create your feelings. Food is just food. Food is inanimate. Food is just there. Food can't give you a feeling. A cookie can't create the craving feeling. You know what creates your feelings is your thinking about the food. And you control your thinking. You control your thinking. So you're having thoughts about the food. Of course you are. It's fine. They're just thoughts. They're sentences floating in your brain. I want that. That sounds good. I need that. They're just thoughts. You don't have to believe every thought that you have, but those thoughts, those sentences that are running amok in your mind are creating a feeling. And all a feeling is this internal vibration that you're experiencing that's fleeting. That's temporary. And so, yeah, you may have a craving for food, and sometimes it feels so strong and necessary and powerful and like it must be answered. But it doesn't. And you're 100% capable of experiencing that vibration in your body, 100% capable of it. You have to allow it. It's just a vibration. I'm a human having an emotion. I'm having a response to something I want that I'm telling myself that I can't have. It feels uncomfortable. I'm pouting, and it's okay. I'm going to be with myself right now. I'm going to turn into myself, give myself some love, think of my goals, drink some water. I'm not going to die from this feeling, right? I'm not physically being punched. I'm okay. And this is the currency that I am prepared to feel. Ariel, are you prepared to feel discomfort? You have to feel uncomfortable, maybe 3 times a day, 5 times a day. You tell me how many times you have cravings. That is your currency. That's the check that you have to write to stop binge eating, to lose the weight. Are you buying? Now, I'm not saying you resist it. Like, oh God, I have these cravings. Here comes all of this discomfort. This is going to be terrible. And I'm going to white knuckle it. I'm going to use all of my willpower. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying lean into it. Like, oh shit, here we go. It's 2:00. It's like that roller coaster, right? Like you're buckled in, the roller coaster's going and you can't get off. You're there for it, right? So it's like I'm having all of these cravings right now for cookies, and I'm going to do something shocking. Yesterday, I said yes. And today, I'm going to start practicing saying no. And it's going to be hard, and it's going to be terrible, and it's going to feel uncomfortable, and I'm probably going to pout a lot, but I am here for it. This is the roller coaster. I'm buckling up, and I'm prepared to feel my feelings on purpose because I'm in control of my brain, how I'm thinking, and these feelings, these vibrations that I am experiencing, and I am willing to pay this price 5 times a day in order to never binge again and be the boss of myself. Like food is not the boss of me anymore. Yes, I love it. Amen, sister. Okay, girlfriends, you got this. Feel your feelings. Don't eat them. The worst thing that can happen is a feeling, and you have never died from your feelings. You have experienced 100% of the worst possible feelings you've ever experienced in your life. You've experienced them and you've survived. So you got this. You know how to experience discomfort. You know how to experience pouting. And you can totally do it. And remind yourself of that every single day. Okay, I love you ladies. Bye.